We're standing here in Washington, D.C. at the USDA's James Whitten building. We just had a Coalition for a Prosperous America meeting with USDA's Foreign Ag Service. This is Charlie Blum of IAS Group. He's on the CPA Board of Directors. Charlie, what's your expertise and background in trade?
Well, I've been doing trade sort of one problem at a time since the 1970s, first in the government and then for 21 years now as a consultant. One reason that I was attracted to the CPA and have worked so hard in trying to build it is exactly because after decades of working on one problem at a time, I found that you can't solve anything really of importance that way. We need to take on bigger problems in a much more comprehensive way, and that means that all of the productive sectors of the American economy have got to find a way to work together. That's what CPA is.
One of your major concerns, and one of CPA's major concerns, is the international currency valuation issue. What is the major problem with regard to currency?
The problem is that some, but not all, governments have found ways to manipulate the value of their currency so that they have a continuous, persistent, one-way advantage.
Okay. Now China is a big problem there, but we like it that China is our banker, don't we? Isn't there a problem with China being our banker?
Well, you know what, we're not so picky. We have about 200 bankers. We borrow money from everyone. We borrow money from the Vatican and from Laos and Burkina Faso, just as much as we do from China. China is a big creditor of the United States, but so is Japan. Western Europe is far bigger than China is. The Arab oil exporters are a far bigger banker to the United States than China is. So if the premise is that we can't have a normal foreign policy in which we stand up for our interests with respect to China because they're our banker, then we have a big problem because we can't stand up to anybody.
What would you and or CPA prescribe to remedy the currency misalignment issue?
Well, ultimately, what needs to happen is foreign governments need to change their policies, and there's no way for us to make them do that. There are rules, but the rules are weak. So the only thing that we can do as a country is use the tools we have available. The principal tools that we have available are trade laws. China is very dependent. When we talk about our dependence on China's credit, China is dependent on our market. So one of the tools we have that could be very effective is U.S. trade laws. Currency misalignment is an export subsidy. So everything that we import from China is potentially subject to duties to offset that advantage. That's kind of like a law.
And there's legislation to establish currency misalignment as an unfair subsidy. Is there not? Can you describe it?
That's right. In one form or another, that legislation has been around for about 4 years now. What it would do very simply is direct the Department of Commerce to whenever it found a country was persistently misaligning its currency, it would add that to the list of subsidies that it would countervail with an offsetting duty. It's a simple practice. We've been doing it in one form or another on all other subsidies since 1896. What the legislation would do is simply make it clear that the export that there is an export subsidy arising out of a misaligned currency and treat it like any other subsidy.
What's the name of the House bill?
Okay. In the House, the bill is called the Currency Reform for Fair Trade Act 2009. It's introduced on a bipartisan basis by Representatives Jim Ryan and Tim Murphy. The bill number is H.R. 2378. The companion bill in the Senate, which is identical, is S. 1027, and that's introduced by Senator Stabenow and Senator Bunning, also on a bipartisan basis.
Thank you.